The timing of this motion by DPM Heng is highly unusual for a legal system that places an exacting premium on the rule of law as a defining characteristic of the country. As intimated by Workers' Party Chair Ms. Sylvia Lim, insofar as the judgment referred to in the motion is concerned, the window for appeal remains open, and the PAP must explain truthfully what is its motive in hurriedly filing this motion before the case is concluded. At the outset, I've heard it from a few speakers, and I think it's important to make the position, put the position on record. The Workers' Party does not disagree with the first limb of the motion, which calls on the House to affirm the vital importance of members of Parliament maintaining high standards of integrity and accountability. And on that note, for the record, in 2015, I did not deliberately mislead this House. On the second limb, I will not repeat the points made by Ms. Sylvia Lim on the appeal process, but I will restate that grounds of appeal can cover both issues of fact and issues of law. However, I do wish to add that the judgment also raises the real prospect of the plaintiffs, namely Pasir Ris Punggol Town Council or AHTC's independent panel, filing an appeal against the judgment identified in the DPM's motion. This is because the plaintiffs did not succeed in many causes of action, some of which were either rejected or dismissed by the judge. One important example with significant repercussions for their case at the second trial on quantum being the plaintiffs' attempt to reverse the burden of proof and to put onus on the defendants to disprove loss. So I believe there's a real likelihood for the plaintiffs to vigorously challenge the findings of the judgment that are not in their favor at the Court of Appeal, as the plaintiffs too are within the 1-month window to file an appeal. So that the judgment referred to in the motion is evidently a very live issue is stating the obvious. To that end, there is no reason for Parliament to be prematurely hijacked as a substitute for the judicial process when the window for appeal on the judgment has not closed. I hope all members, not just NMPs, consider this when they decide on the motion later. Next, I wish to consider limbs 3 and 4 of the motion. Natural justice dictates that any question of a recusal for Ms. Lim and Mr. Loh from their roles at the Town Council must surely be considered after the case is concluded. However, if Parliament passes the motion and vote on it, if it is the collective, let me say that again. However, if Parliament passes the motion, the councillors of AHTC, not the Workers' Party, will discuss the matter and vote on it if that is the collective decision of the Council. In any such decision, Mr. Loh and Ms. Lim will excuse themselves from voting on the issue and will not participate in any discussion of the matter. On my part, I have absolute trust and confidence in both Ms. Lim and Mr. Loh's leadership and their continued participation on the Town Council. I speak for myself when I say that I will not be voting for them to be recused from financial matters should it be determined so by Council, even if this motion passes. Why? Let me first start with Ms. Lim, who also chairs the Finance and Investment Committee of the Town Council. All of you know that. Let's not fake ignorance and say, wow. It's in the judgment that has been read. Noted. She's still in charge, yes. As chairman of the Town Council between 2011 and 2015, despite challenging circumstances and under tremendous pressure, Ms. Lim led the Town Council to manage the estate without major disruption of service affecting the lives of residents. Ms. Lim, as Vice Chair, has contributed much over the years to the positive transformation of the Town Council today. For the information of the House, for the latest annual report, AHTC's auditors have submitted an unqualified audited report to the Council, which has been forwarded to MND for onward tabling to Parliament. The accumulated surplus position and all other matters will be in that report. That said, any decision to consider a recusal for Ms. Lim and Mr. Loh is for the individual town councillors to make, and AHTC will act in accordance with their decisions. On Mr. Low, he is a member of the Estate and Community Liaison Committee, or ECLC, and does not chair any finance-related committee. The ECLC does, however, approve expenditure for estate-related work. Mr. Low's depth of town council experience and perspective as a long-standing opposition town councillor on estate matters is very useful for the ECLC. Once again, it is only appropriate for council to take a collective decision on any recusal if it decides to do so. And AHTC will act according to council's decisions. To conclude, Mr. Speaker, the two words that have defined this motion are hurried and premature. The Workers' Party has read the motion carefully, and all the Workers' Party MPs will unanimously vote against it.